me? Make sure. I think so. Ooh. Okay. I'm making sure you can see me okay. My hair is a little nondescript today. Hello, hello. Hey, YouTubians. Oh, you are there. Good, good, good. It says like no one's here, but I think you're here. Check on in. Greetings. Greetings, space creatures. I'm going to take a sip for the haters. Hey, cult lecturers. Hello, hello, my love. Shout out to Panic, Brother Panic and his people from the Labyrinth. Give a shout out to cult lectures. Okay, so I'll wait until everyone checks in. I have a message from Anubis, the Annunaki. And this is really pertinent. So this is something I know Willy Wonka doesn't want you to know, but I'm building because really I'm gonna cook on this video. I'm a cosmic purple pill you, but I can't really put what I'm gonna do on the actual hey Yafi, coming from Israel in the house, from the Holy Land, 0 point. Oh, I'm loud, okay. I'm really, I'm out and about. I'm actually in the United States. I gotta behave myself. At least I think I do. Maybe I don't. So I'm gonna cosmic purple pill you. I've got locations. I got time frame. Listen, I gotta give a shout out to Yafi. Did you get a chance to watch Carrie Cassidy's video? This is why this message was able to come. And I also have a telepathic message for Candace Owens. Don't ask me why they gave me a message for her, but this is a warning. Hey AJ, how are you? I hope everything's good. Okay. So I'll wait until a couple more people check in. Oh, I kind of have a thing going on with, it's kind of overcast. It's really beautiful. Again, I don't know if this is chemtrails. I think this is chemtrail free today. You watch part of it? Yo, Yafi, you got to watch the whole thing. I'm impressed. I gotta give a shout out to her network because in it itself, her network is like she did a really good. Hold on, I'm right next door to someone, so I'll wait. It's gonna be a little bit of talking. I'll give a minute until everyone checks in. I'll wait until we get to 500. Okay. And I'm behaving myself. Oh, thank you, Magdalena. Thank you, Magdalena. Mwah. Bisu bisu. Beijo. Thank you, my love. Give a heart. Can I give a heart to you? I can give a heart to your donation now. Isn't that cool? Thank you, Magdalena. I love your name. Okay, so I'll wait. Hey, April. Okay, so I'll wait until a couple of you check on in. Did you know James Cobalt got out of jail? He got out of jail? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's another conversation. Okay, I didn't know that. We're going to get into it. Maybe I should give Candace Owens her telepathic message from the other side. Now, y'all, I told you, many of you know already, my mother had transitioned in July. Ever since then, many of you know when my father transitioned was like a whole Anubis thing and everything like that. But let me tell you, y'all, ever since I went to Brother Panic's Labyrinth, and I've been there a couple times, like they do, whoever when let me say this. It's like, we perceive people in their physical form here on the fake artificial construct we call Earth. They're much more powerful than even what we know on the other side. Like, if you even rock with Brother Panic and his information was off the mother freaking chain, him on the other side is like, it's like quantum fields away from anything you could ever perceive. Like, I was in awe. Like, I don't even know. And remember, I told you, Oz had transitioned from our group. Many of you knows, big up to Oz on the other side. Oz had shown a book that Brother Panic told them to show me from the quantum field. And it was of I can't say here, but it was something amazing. This is way before. Okay, so anyway, I don't want to harp on that, but they gave me a message, and I don't know if it's because you know, many of you know Candace Owens. I'm not. You already know, okay? I feel like she's controlled opposition. She's being handled by the Rockefeller, the Rockefeller kin. I think she's obviously. I know she was. You know, she has an agent Smith that was assigned to her. That's her husband, Farmer, whatever his name is. They picked her because she had a heightened amount of melanin. Okay, and perfect for controlling and also making her give birth to a massive amount of children to be able to anchor that bloodline within her. But I have a message from the other side, and it isn't good. And I do think the message should go to her. And it doesn't matter how I feel. I feel she's a mother. I feel the message is appropriate for her. And again, because ever since my mother transitioned, I am so hyper. I don't know, y'all. I'm never one to say the word psychic. I don't know what happened to me. I have so much truthful information, like it's supernatural. I'm a supernatural creature. I've turned into something like supernatural. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I'm not sure if I like it yet, because again, it's like knowing things. It's heightened. I can't explain. The zombies know. I kind of go over. I'm over the top though. Like the access to. Oh, there's a dragonfly, y'all. So beautiful. I get distracted. I'm on coffee, so just understand. Like if I go all over the place, many of you know already. If you know me already, let me give a sip for the haters before I continue. Look, my nose is all red. Let me give a sip to the haters. Every time you come on my feed, you know you're going to get hit with that cosmic radiation bump. Okay. And I have a stain on my shirt, so I'm trying to keep it from you guys. Like, I got it, like, going into my car, my truck, so you can't really see it, right? I don't really care. You said I've always been supernatural. You too, Yafi. Hold on, I'm trying to cover it up. Thank you. Oh, Danielson. Oh, I love it. You are an angel on earth. Thank you for all you do. Oh, thank you, Danielson. I like to be considered an angel, but sometimes, Danielson, some people don't consider me being an angel. They think I'm something else. But thank you. It's so beautiful. Thank you for the donation, Danielson. I appreciate it. I'm not going to get more. I was going to go get more coffee while I do the live, and they close pretty soon. And I told them I'm going to get more coffee, but I don't think I need any more. You think I'm okay? Just disregard that. Look at that. Okay. All right. I'm off the chain. Well, I'm there, y'all. I've arrived. So anyway, I've got a message for, we're almost at 500. I've got a message for I think that's my mom, y'all. Is it dragonfly? She comes as butterflies and dragonflies. I think that's my mom. Like energetically, she comes in like butterflies. Because the dragonfly is watching me, unless it's like a governmental drone. You know, we also know that can happen too, right? I did cut my hair. How do you guys know when I cut my hair? Because it actually looks like even. It kind of looks even, right? See? I did cut my hair. Thank you for noticing. Some people don't notice that. It looks more even. It doesn't look as chopped up, right? Like usually my hair looks really off. The moisture, my hair is loving the moisture though. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Am I a Sith Lord? I wish I was. So this is a message for Candace Owens. Whoever wants to send it to her, you can. It doesn't matter how I feel. I felt like this came from the quantum field. Well, I don't know if they're panics people, but who told me this? It was a whisper, and it was about the children. So I feel like I'm obligated as a mother to warn another mother about what people are plotting against her. So this is for Candace Owens. Whoever wants to send it, you know, she may think I'm a weirdo. She's watched me before. I know she has. But she knows that I wouldn't share this unless it was real. And this is because I have the information from the quantum realm. I think it was one of Panic's homegirls, but I don't know. Because they told me this, and I was floored. Okay, so apparently this farmer guy who was assigned to her, he was assigned to her. They sent him to handle her as a handler. The farmer guy that she married, that's why they got together after 2 weeks. He was purposefully sent to her to control her, okay? To control her, and also to bleed their blood into her, their bloodline into hers, okay? The reason why they're doing that, they want her to have as many babies, and this is a very dark message, so know that she may not listen to me initially, but she'll understand. The woman who told me this said she will understand. There will be a day that this message is relative and she'll do what she has to do. That's what they told me, okay? So I think it's important. They said that he was assigned to her, and I don't know that the father is in on what the really big thing is that the family's planning. They're saying that the woman said, well, I shouldn't say the woman, the being said that Candace's father-in-law, allegedly, I have to say allegedly because I can get in trouble, right? Allegedly, on the other side, this is a quantum message, okay? So this is coming from the quantum field. Said that the father-in-law has plotted to make sure that Candace has a child for every family member so that they can harvest the children at a time, because they need that melanin later. So they wanted her to have as many children for as many people that are in the family that they're going to harvest the children for. So they're going to use her children to harvest later on after the pole shift. So that's why there's an encouragement for her to have as many babies. So it's a dark message. They want the woman on I don't know if it's her ancestor. I don't know who the woman was or the being was. So they're trying to pump as many babies out as people that are going to use the babies for harvesting. Okay, so this is a message from the being on the other side. And they said when she gets the message, she won't believe me until that day when the message becomes relative. Okay, so that's a message. Anybody want to give it to Candace Owens? It's just a dark message, but the father-in-law is plotting, allegedly. This is from the quantum field. The father-in-law he has ties to the Satanist Kabbalist. He does not like her. He actually encourages his son to be with other women, allegedly. This is all in the quantum, I'm crazy, I'm quack, whatever you want to do. But they're planning to harvest her children. So whoever wants to share it with her, she may not believe me. From what the being said, I don't want to say a woman, sounded feminine. What the being said, she isn't going to necessarily, she's going to get the message, but she isn't going to apply it until it's relative. And because this message is coming early enough, it will be relative where she takes action. Okay, so that's just, I'm just sharing that. Okay, so let's get into the topic of discussion. It's a dark message. This is from the quantum realm. This is from a being that actually, remember, I'm not a fan of Candace. I don't like her. I think she's controlled opposition. She knows she has a handler they assigned to her so that she can gear people in a certain direction. But I love children, and I know she loves her children. And I know as a mother, if I get some information like that, especially supernatural, especially from mother to mother, I feel it's my duty to share that with her. It would be cruel, and it would be irresponsible for me to keep that message to myself. Okay, so that's it. All right, let's get into the message, y'all. Okay, so big up to everyone. Peace to the east, the west, and north, south. This is FleurBrun coming to you today with a new topic of discussion. Hold on, I'm drinking coffee as we speak. Hi. This coffee, y'all, I'm so greedy. Guys, gentlemen, if you get with a thick woman, we just like a lot of it. A lot. Okay, please put a like on this video. I'm already out of control. I'm out of control already, y'all. Okay. All right, so I got a message from the Annunaki. I say it is a generic term. It's really the Niburians, but I got a message, y'all, and big up to even though I cursed out Carrie Cassidy years ago. Please just sidebar that. I wasn't mature enough. I didn't like. Well, I think it was truthful. For many of you know me for many years, you know that there was a. Sorry about that. There was a message that I had. Carrie Cassidy did a video many years ago with Norman Brugren. I had an issue with her not wanting to say the word black. Extraterrestrials. So I made a beef video. This is like over 10 years ago. I'm over it. I'm grown. I'm a grown woman now. Okay. So that being said, I've moved on, and her library, her work is beyond anything I could judge. This woman has done video series and documentaries that even if I had an issue with something she did, her work is beyond compare. And also Allison Coe. I want to give a shout out to Allison Coe as well. These are the sea stars that are been about this life. Okay, Allison Coe doesn't get as much credit. She's the reason why it was validated that I had the rainbow event. Hopefully, I'm gonna see if I can try to get her on here one day if she'll come to me. You know, some people have a judgment of us in the galactic sector, but she was a reason why it was validated I had gone under the rainbow event. Many of you know if you were here at the time, but this is an important message because Carrie Cassidy did a video, and after engage, I think I watched most of it, and then after that, the Annunaki, when I say Annunaki, y'all, you know I don't believe in that terminology. Okay, it's very generic. It is a term used that I know that you understand and understand. That's why I use it to you. I would say Niburuans, okay? Because that's who's on the earth, the real Tiamat, Earth, Terra, whatever you call the planetoid, which is really a ship that comes around. You call it Planet X, you call it, the brown dwarf. Some call it the Death Star, whatever you call it. It is another, it is the real Earth. I've told you, Nibiru is the real Earth. We're on a simulated Earth. This is like a penile colony that's made to look like Earth. In the Matrix, you kind of see that's a simulated Earth to harvest the energy of the beings that it's encasing. Okay, so I give a shout out to Allison Coe. She made a video of one of her quantum readings, and y'all, it was right in sync with the intel that I got, and also the video that Carrie Cassidy just did with a gentleman talking about this energy and this actual planetoid that they call a comet. It's not, that's coming, and the dates are matter. So I'm gonna definitely, if some of our sea star can do me a picture, do me a favor, if you can place the video of Carrie Cassidy's last video in here so people can have a reference, so that after I finish this share, you can go and watch it. Okay, it's very relative, and it's very important if you plan to ascend from this physical nightmare encased in this dark realm we call Earth simulation. Thank you, Ancient Gardener. Ancient Gardener made a donation of $19.99. 1999 was a fabulous year, Gardener. Thank you. Mwah. Kisses to you. Bisu bisu. Thank you so much for the donation. She did on I didn't know you'd get Cash Apps things on my phone. I'm not very technologically sound, you know that, right? So when I see stuff on my phone, anyway, so let me give you the message. There's so much to tell you. Okay, so I've talked about the fact that the Dark Kabbalists have made sure right before we go into reset or into a form of, before we do our exodus, you have to be qualified. Now, remember I talked about Anubis, my mom's dog Poco. She transitioned, but Poco transitioned after my dad. It's interesting that Poco, which is my mom's dog and my dad's dog, he telepathically told me that it is Anubis that draws the scales of how we're received when we transcend. Okay. Oh, thank you. Yafi put the series in the video with Carrie Cassidy. Y'all snatch it up. Thank you so much, Yafi. Okay. And let me know that the dogs, which is inverted with God, they draw the scales and how we are judged when we transition. Now, many of you have probably looked at a lot of spirit box networks, people who talk to the people of transition. And I've talked about a lot of people of transition have kind of, over the last, I say 6 to 10 years. I don't know. It's somewhere in between that I've noticed that a lot of people of transition are talking to people in this realm more, and it's almost like they're not leaving. And then I was made aware that there is a cap. They're actually, the net is keeping them from incarnating. They're in a wait station until reset is over so they can incarnate. And I heard the next session in this realm, in this holographic realm, is going to be more robotoid. So people are going to be more in transhumanistic kind of bodies. That's why they're promoting androids, forms of like biobotism, syntheticas, they're promoting that, having people have sex with like torsos that are artificial or robotoids. what we have. But that's the next session. So after this reset, pole shift, whenever people are reincarnated and released from the net that they're being held, their souls are being held in right now, they're going to be released to incarnate in more robotoid bodies, like less, the physicality won't be this organic again. Okay? So that being said, is there's a reason why the people who have transitioned are able to converse with us and interface with us right now. What is happening? Okay, let me speak to what your Willy Wonka is doing. I've spoken to you before, and it's very important you understand what this is. Willy Wonka, which, can someone put the code in? You know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about your, someone put it in, because, they come in here every time I say it outwardly, but I've made a term for them. Willy Wonka and the League of Doom have fast-tracked the mudding up of your energetic fields. By feeding you human flesh in your food sources, they are dampening your auric field, making you heavier, more dense, and dirtying up your auric field. They're promoting pornography because sexual deviancy is a form of dampening that pulls in a lower frequency that also makes you more dense. They are also promoting for not liking yourself, which is the trans movement, and saying, well, you could be born this, but you want to be this. Like, if I said to you that I don't like my brown skin and my brown hair, I want blonde hair and blue eyes, you would say I hate myself. Why is that not the case for people who say they were born a man and want to be a woman? It's a form of self-loathing. And they're promoting it and giving it a crutch so that more people are encouraged and are participating in that kind of self-hatred, okay, and mutilation. Because once they start hating themselves, they start wanting to mutilate their body and change themselves from man to woman, woman to man, cat to dog. They got a lot going on, right? Okay. It all matters what I'm sharing with you, because I'm going to talk about the tiers of what's going on, and that's going to affect you galactically and your ability to be able to ascend from this place. Okay? If you've listened to me over the years, this is just like listening to the same thing I've been kind of speaking about, but this is more enhanced. So sexual deviancy, self-loathing, not loving yourself. Listen, I'll use this. I'm not a skinny woman. My hair is not straight. I wouldn't be perceived as what is the social standard of beauty, but I love myself. Could I improve on certain things? Obviously, for myself, yes. But am I putting myself against the standard of beauty, what's being promoted out here? I've stopped. You know what I mean? I don't think I ever really could, because I didn't match anything that was being promoted. But in my mind, as I've gotten a little more seasoned, I have learned that the value of my own perception of myself, just myself. So if someone says, oh, you ugly fat pig, or you ugly Negro, or you ugly whatever, it isn't automatically like uploaded into my subconscious and played out. Do you understand? So I've learned that, and it's very important for everyone in here, if you're in here working on self-value and self-love, loving what you chose to come in as. If you chose to come in as as a lunar man, short, brown hair, rock that look. Rock it and love it, because you're the only one of your kind who looks like you. You're individualized, and you are unique in yourself. Okay, I don't want to get into that la-di-da stuff and all that stuff, okay? So I'm just saying, like, these are the things that are important that Willy Wonka and his league will encourage you to dislike yourself. And to do everything. Like with the young ladies, I say, especially you young ladies, I talk about our young sea stars. You are so beautiful. And I tell you all the time, you guys are so pretty. You don't need a lick of makeup. I know everybody tells you to do tutorials and eyelash, snuffleupagus eyelashes and fake hair and fake butt. You are so pretty, young sea stars. I see you, and I don't know if you know that. You think that everybody else thinks of you. It don't matter. It doesn't matter what they think of you. You are so pretty, so lovely, so unique. You don't have to look like the other snuffleupagus eyelash wearers. You could be yourself. It isn't saying you shouldn't enhance yourself. I'm not, I don't want to judge you for that, but I want you to know how beautiful you really are. And I don't know if people tell you that. I'm letting you know, young sea stars of all colors, beautiful, beautiful brown skin. You are gorgeous. People tell you like your skin is beautiful. People go and sit in tanning beds just to have a beautiful melanated look too. So don't love yourself. Beautiful coiled hair. Do you know how unique coiled hair is? Like to have hair facing the the stars and the moon and the sun. Like for your hair to face up like a tree, you know how beautiful you are, how connected to nature. Like, why would you hate that about yourself? That's a actually unique quality. It's actually curly haired people are probably a minority on the earth. Like, that's a unique quality. Why would you hate it? You know what I mean? Rock your coils. Coils also take in frequency. So if your hair is faced up, you actually pull up frequencies from the cosmic realms. You know that, right? So love that. Okay, so, oh, the firefly is just like looking. I swear to God, it's my mom. But anyway, so that's one. So they're dirtying up your mindset, socially engineering you to like music, like dark music. The hip hop of our old era was healthy, it was inspiring, it was talking about empowerment, talking about standing in your power, your self-esteem, high self-esteem. All the music now is dark, it's dampening, it's on a lower frequency sub-tier, and it is ruining and inputting lower vibrations within your soul essence. Okay, also encouraging people to watch a lot of horror movies. And listen, I'm talking to the chorus because I like a good horror movie. But what in our life would make us encourage us to like things that are very dark? You know what I mean? I remember I used to watch Ozzy Osbourne's reality show on MTV. Anybody of a certain age? Anybody of a certain age? You remember watching MTV with the Ozzy Osbourne people, Ozzy Osbourne? Do you guys remember? Or with Anna Nicole Smith? Remember Anna Nicole Smith? Do you remember us watching? How could a network make a show about someone literally shaking and stuttering and cursing and being belligerent, and the lifestyle of that kind of individual who represented what drugs and deviancy creates? Oh, thank you, my love. Thank you thank you, Seven. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Thank you. Why would someone encourage that? Like, remember Anna Nicole Smith? She was like a big Amazonian blonde. She married like a 90-year-old man. I mean, listen, y'all, that wasn't love. And the fact that they would even promote it as love is sick. Like, she married him because he had a lot of money. He was paying her a lot of money, uplifting her lifestyle. She had everything on her was artificial, even though she was a good looking woman. I don't know if you remember. Anna Nicole Smith was I don't care what people say. I know she had a lot of enhancements, but the base of that woman was lovely. She was a very pretty girl when she was younger. Am I wrong? And to promote a show that shows her high as a kite, she could barely talk. She was slurring all the time. Who would approve of that production? You know what that's about, right? That's dirtying you and making it normal for you to see people who do hyper drugs, ruin their brain capacity, and living wealthy, even though they did all that and bit a bat's head off on stage and let the blood go all over the place. That's considered to be good. Okay. So a lot of these things are being promoted to you. Like, I know a lot of people listen, Ozzy Osbourne transitioning. If you listen to his last concert, that was the ritual. And I want to talk about that first because that's why I couldn't put in my title, is that ritual that they did with Ozzy Osbourne dying. I personally think he was ritualized and he died maybe a little earlier than they said. And also, just like with Kobe Bryant and the Black Mambo, when he was killed in a helicopter, supposedly, and a helicopter accident with his daughter, that ushered in Cucarachis 101. Okay, so his ritualized death. Kobe also had a big contract with China at the time, which now you see where the connection is. And when he died, it was a week before they initiated sharing that Cucarachis was on the run, which is geoengineered. It was a beta test. And this one that I know that Ozzy, his transition, that ritual was meant to initiate the bat virus, which is now associated with what? Because when Kobe Bryant died and he was ritualized, the Black Mambo represented the snake, the serpent, right? And the snake venom is what they said was in the Cucarachi kill shot. Okay? So now we're talking about another virus, a pandemic. This one is the real one. The dress rehearsal was the first one. This is the real one. This was initiated with Ozzy Osbourne sitting in a bat chair, sitting in a chair representing bats, right? And he dies and is ritualized, and that will initiate the pandemic, which is the real one, which has to do with the cucarachas. And this is going to be the zombie apocalypse, which is connected to the bats. Okay? So, I want to talk about that because, I probably should make a whole video on that one, but this is literally a ritual. Okay. So we had Malcolm Jamal Warner transition. You had Ozzy Osbourne transition, and you had Hulk Hogan transition on the anniversary of when he said the word nigger. Nigger, 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 nigger. Okay. Okay. Overstand and understand that is within the tier. Now, I actually think that Hulk Hogan might have been a hit from the Boule because a Boule was killed. So I don't know. I don't think Hulk Hogan was a part of the ritual. I think only Ozzy was. But I think because they did a ritual, I think they did a kill of a Boule. They're killing off the Boule. Okay. And that's another thing. I think I'm all over the place, y'all. Are you guys with me, y'all? Hey, Oracle. Are you guys with me? Please put a 13 if... Are you guys with me? Please put a 13 if you're with me still. Put a 13. Put a 13 if you're with me. Let me know. Okay, you're back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Okay, I think it cut off. Okay. All right. I'm trying to see where I left off. Okay. Thank you, my loves. Thank you. Okay. All right, so Malcolm Jamal Warner, this is my, now I'm not sure about this, but this is me just, I'm not sure about this, but this is me just reading. Hey, oh no. Okay. It keeps going off, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay. Let me know if you can actually see me, y'all. $13 if you can see me again. Okay, I'm not going to stop now. I don't want any more interruptions. All right, so this is my take on it. I actually think there's a Boule kill-off. I actually think that there's a group of Boule. I think it started with Cosby. He's one of the members of the Boule. I actually think they're doing a Boule kill-off. I think Obama is code for killing off the Boule. And I think Malcolm Jamal Warner being killed or dying, and allegedly he received a phone call when he was in Costa Rica saying he was being followed. Okay. So I think, in my mind, this could be a Boule kill that ended up having a residual kill of Hulk Hogan. I think they're killing off the Boule. I think code, when they're saying they're about to arrest Obama, that's them going after the Boule, because Obama represents the Boule. Okay. So can you guys hear me? Can you hear me now? Yeah? Okay. So, yeah? Okay. All right. Let me know if you can hear me. All right. So, hey, Teresa. So, Boule, that was a Boule kill. Remember, Cosme's son died. Whenever you get into these brotherhoods, these occults, it's occult just means hidden, y'all. So it's not a fancy terminology. It just means hidden. So whenever you join these brotherhoods, you initiate yourself, there's a sacrifice that needs to be had. Some people sacrifice, they give the payment first, and then some people give the payment after. The payment first is usually the biggest payment that they require for some of these. I'm not saying all cults, because every cult is different, but for the satanic sector that we're seeing that's ruling over, their payment is a child sacrifice, which is their firstborn. And sacrifice doesn't mean always killing it. You see other celebrities, they change the sex of the child, which is sacrificing what the child organically was, and that's perceived to be a sacrifice as well. Okay, so when you see someone like Blue Ivy, that's that that's the firstborn of, not born of her womb maybe, but it was the firstborn of Beyonce. The payment is a sacrifice. So now Blue Ivy is no longer a boy, she's a girl. Okay? That's just my opinion. If you see the dimensions of Blue Ivy, she's gorgeous. Boys usually look like their mothers. So he looks just like his mother, beautiful, handsome young man. But in my opinion, Blue Ivy was converted to a girl. That's why she had a neutral name at the beginning, because that's how they able to walk through it in case it doesn't transition and doesn't have them properly. So they can either have them both ways. Are you not hearing me? The Wade son is another sacrifice. This is the payment. Okay? They do it. All of them do it. Okay? So it's a sacrifice. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. So with, Cosme, a lot of these people, in order to be placed in a position where they have that much influence, where they're in a position of show that's very successful, all of them have to make a payment. Okay? So there's a payment made. Usually it's the death of a firstborn child. So with Cosby, his son had died previously, and when it was a Boule hit, they killed his son off his television show, which is just like his real son, which is Malcolm Jamal Warner. And Malcolm Jamal was also an advocate of just brown people coming together, building their wealth, having high self-esteem. Remember, he's a Cosby kid. So generally, unlike Raven, who was very young and was, initiated into a high position, she changed the way that she was initially, because that is part of the payment process. Okay, so either you pay at the beginning or you pay at the end. Okay, so why do I mention this? Is I personally think that Malcolm Jamal was a hit on the Boule, and in retaliation, what's his name? Hulk Hogan was a retaliation from the Boule. He was hit, and he was hit at a 10-year marker where he was talking about melanated people. Okay, I perceive them as hits from the Dark Kabbalists. I think the Dark Kabbalists, all those Satanist sectors on the top, they're battling right now for supremacy. Okay, we're going towards reset. There's a new order coming and a new configuration of power and structure and hierarchy, and they're battling. So you have two sectors of these dark orders battling each other. So I think that was a Boule hit. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I would love to hear your opinion. So I think Malcolm was a Boule hit, and I think was code, like we going after y'all, and they hit Hulk Hogan. I don't think he had anything to do with the Ozzy Osbourne initiation of the bat zombie apocalypse pandemic that is now being put. That was, and then the Lionsgate is going to initiate the actual pandemic. Okay, so Lionsgate is going to bring the energy to energize the actual ritual that was done with the ritualized killing off of the Lord of Darkness, which is Ozzy Osbourne, who represents the bat energy. Okay. Remember with Kobe Bryant, he brought the Black Mamba, was a snake energy, and that's when you brought that snake venom that was put in all the Kukarachi kill shots, okay? That's been validated. What they say, King Cobra venom was put in it. That's why nicotine kind of remedies it, because it kind of takes that spike off of the sites, the nicotine sites in the body, and it neutralizes it. That's why. So I personally think with that, he initiated the Kukarachis 1.0. Now we have 2.01 with the initiation of the Ozzy Osbourne zombie apocalypse energy. And, anyone who saw on, big up to all those, I could not share the video on YouTube because I knew they were going to take it off. And I don't want you to have to join my site, but I do have the video of a zombie attack that was in Georgia. Thank you to Dalmache who vetted out, because we couldn't find out what Georgia it was in. It was a video showing a woman she's in Georgia, but it's Georgia in the Middle East, like in that area. So it's not Georgia, US, it's Georgia abroad, okay? From asleep, they just found her passed out. She woke up and she went to go talk to the nurse attending the area where people are, like an emergency room setting, and she bit the woman's neck and they had to come get her. So this is in Georgia, abroad. I have the video. We couldn't vet it out, but I couldn't show it on YouTube. They wouldn't let me do it. So I do have the video. I had to upload it to the Patreon personally, and it's over there. No, yeah, Jordan and what is that, the Middle East? Where's the Jordan, right? It's in the Middle East, right? I think it's next to the borders Israel. Yafi, Jordan borders Israel, right? Kazakhstan or not? Where's it border? Can someone tell me? I forgot the country, right? It borders Israel, right? Okay. Okay, just making sure. Thank you. Okay, it's a short video, and we couldn't vet it out, but thank you to Delmache for my group. She vetted out where it's from. So, and remember before that, we talked about the gentleman who made the video talking about how in Tennessee there was a zombie apocalypse that hit at the Walmart. Now he since retracted his story, saying he's making a whole bunch of skits about zombies, but I actually think the Men in Black got him. So I think he stopped the story because the Men in Black came and he was the only one talking about it. It was a woman had gotten, it's either a woman or man that got bitten at Walmart. The other person went to the hospital and started biting people. Now, 2 weeks or 3 weeks before he made this video, he took a picture of a deer that was showing Marburg disease. I have a picture of the deer, and that was 3 weeks before he made that first video about being in Tennessee and that happening. So I personally think that he's actually telling the truth. They do not want you to know. Listen to me. They do not want you to know that this has already been initiated because they don't want people to react and start to caution themselves and stay away from each other. Okay. So I know for a fact, this is my opinion. Let me just say this. Ozzy Osbourne's ritualized death and slaying was purposefully done to initiate the bat zombie apocalyptic zombie virus. Okay. And they will have a remedy for you, y'all. Just like the Cucarachi kill shot, just like the monkey bowls shots, they will have, they're coming. The bots are coming. The bots are coming. I do want to get more coffee, but I don't think I need any more. Okay. I think I'm good enough, right? Help me with my habit. Just say, FleurBrun, you're good. You don't need any more coffee. Because I'm already cooking. All right, so why does this matter? What does this have to do with Annunaki? They gave me a message. I shouldn't say they. It's not really a message from they. I want to say this. I say that because I've explained that I am now open to the quantum field, and I'm getting all of this telepathic messages more than before, to the point where it's all being validated and verified. There isn't anything I'm sharing with you that I haven't validated. That's the crazy part about this. Big up to my mom. The way she transitioned, my mom, I love that woman so much. My dad and my mom, she is such a rock star. She was so amazing in life. My God, this woman is amazing in her transition. Like the things she's opening the door for, like I love my mother oh so much more. Anyway, so it all has to do with this, y'all. They're dirtying up your frequencies. They're messing up your food source. You need to vet out your meats, y'all. And vet out your vegetables, because they're planting compost flesh into the soil, which is also making your auric field dirty. This is purposefully done because you won't be able to access your exodus points. Oh, it gets better. The Annunaki are here. The Niburu is here. The Earth. When they talk about the second Earth, when they talk about Niburu, Planet X, the brown dwarf, it isn't a planet, y'all. It is like a fixture, like a ship that looks like that. It comes at a certain time when we're about to use the Anubis. He actually validates and qualifies us if we are allowed to enter, and then we can do our exodus. It's like being checked out. Anubis checks you out. What? Anubis checks you out. No. But guess what? We each have our own checkpoints. This is where it's important. This is where the dark Kabbalists are messing with your travel. That's why they're going to run the whole martial law restriction on travel, because you got to be at your 0 point. What I mean by your 0 point, we each have an exodus point. A lot of the places that you have access to leave or to access in the vortexes and portal, they have made sure that they are either covering with churches or sites or governmental sites, or they are going to restrict you from having access there. But guess what also? They changed and they're messing with the dates so that you and the directional, like the compass. So what you perceive to be east could be north. What you perceive to be south could be west. Do you understand? So directionally, they're messing with it. We're in the pole shift, so there's a switching. Oh, this guy is. What? No comment. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm people watching, and I'm really quite disturbed. I won't say what I'm seeing. I'm in the United States. I'm seeing things I'm not used to seeing anymore. Anyway, let me fix my mind. Okay, so no, I'm not drawing attention. No one saw me looking that way. No, I'm not drawing attention. I'm very nestled in my little spot. You know, they only see me when they come by. I'm drinking coffee, y'all. Yes, I'm having. Wait. What do you guys? I'm drinking espresso. You know, many of you know I just like espresso on ice, but they add a little maple to it. Oh my God, it's so good. They got a lot of things going on in the United States. I'm not used to being in a democratic state either. I don't care about Democrat or Republican, but I lived in a lot of Republican states for the longest time, and when you're in an all-inclusive state, it means everything's included. I'm not mad. I'm just, amused. Okay, so Anubis qualifies you. Okay, now we know why wealthy people were fascinated in treating their dogs like humans. They were appeasing to Anubis. Remember I asked this question years ago? I think I talked to you guys about this, right? Remember I asked this question? Some of you know me for a while. Remember I asked this question like, why are there wealthy people? I love animals, so it makes sense. Like it's it's like my innate thing. I love all animals. I have dogs all my life, so it's something different. But I noticed a lot of the wealthy people would they really were over the top with the dogs. Even Ozzy Osbourne, if you watch the Ozzy show, like the way that they dress their dogs, they treat them like humans, even though I do too. But you know what I mean? But now I know why. Because with Poco, which was my mom's dog, Poco let me know it's an Anubis. They're appeasing to the Anubis god, the gates of access. Okay? Now, I will say this. For all of you who think that death is freedom, it isn't. This is how I found out. When my mother transitioned, I was seeing all of these celebrities, and they were talking on these, they were being able to be accessed. They were being able to be accessed by people in like spirit boxes, mediums. I was like, that's a long time for a celebrity to be accessed for like 5 years, being able to talk to them. Like, how are they there? So I realized, and this was me traveling astral training, that there is a net, and they're kept in a net because we're going through reset. So nobody's being released. So there is no freedom when you transition. When you transition, you're still under this dome. You're still under the firmament. They're not allowing anyone to leave. No one leaves the firmament. That's why these psychopaths, these these sociopaths that you call your Willy Wonka systems and their League of Doom, they try to leave all the time. You think all this stuff, remember the rocket that came with Gail King and all of the rest of them? They try to get in the rocket ship and go up. Remember the rocket looked like a penis? What kind of pervert? Why would you have the rocket look like a straight penis? Like, what is going on? Like, what is going on with that? Like, don't you know that children are watching? Anyway, I'm saying that's a little odd, don't you think? Like, they had a whole rocket. So, and also, remember the rocket that I think Elon Muskie and his League of Doom shot up, and it kind of went up, hit, and went sideways? They're trying to get out. They aren't able to. And let me say this, y'all. I know it sounds crazy. I'm going to say this. I'm grateful we have a dome and we have this firmament, because these social paths shouldn't be allowed to get out of here. You are in a prison system. It is a training ground for some. It is an imprisoned system for others. You are living amongst them. You are in a maximum prison system with people that have triple OG lifetimes here. I don't know if you ever saw the Superman the old Superman, when you had these prisoners and they were locked in a glass and they were like going through space just in the glass, locked in there. They were sentenced and they were in this glass, and that glass went and cracked. Remember that one? What Superman is that, y'all? Do you remember? You know what? I'm gonna have my girls watch that Superman tonight. What was that one? That was a good one. When they came to Earth. Oracle, what's that one? Which one was that one? That was a really good one. Superman 3. Okay, is it 2 or 3? The one they were locked in, the criminals were locked in a mirror. It was 2? 2. I'm gonna watch that tonight. That was deep though, because I watched it as a child. I hadn't the mindset, right? I didn't really have the mindset to kind of transcribe that, but y'all, that's what this is. They were telling you where you were. This is the glass. We're in a snow globe. We are encased here with sociopathic psychopaths. I liken it to the video, big up to the Zoomies that were watching the other day. I always give you this recommendation. If you watch Aliens versus Predator, they created the Predator created a battle zone. They actually allowed these aliens to replicate themselves so they would have a place to test their skill set, right? In the pyramid. Do you remember that? You got to see that too. This is where we're coexisting. That's why everybody has problems. That's why there's always war in here. There's always death, always a celebration of darkness, always encouraging people to celebrate death. Your money has dead presidents on it. Everything's dead people are elevated in this realm. Death activity, things that bring in, like, you know what I mean? This is a realm where it's literally like a catapult into the underworld. The beings that are ruling here, the ones who are doing the best in this realm, are the beings that are engaged in the most dark deeds. So in the fact that you see people, the wealthiest and most elevated, it also, must understand that their blood lineage and who they are and what they do is in alignment with that dark realm. Okay? So this is where we're living. We're in that dark realm. We're in that glass with those criminals going through space. But there is a point where you get released after whether you're in here for training, you're sentenced for, existing in another realm where you were doing things that were disheartening or hurtful. So you were sentenced to multiple lifetimes, which is probably only 2 seconds in there and outside the firmament. We might have only been in here for like 5 minutes. Outside there is like 5 minutes, and here is like 4,000 years. Okay, because time only is a construct inside of here. Okay, so because of that, there is a time frame where there's a reset. So that's where that concept. If you watch Time Unveiled, what is it? Time Unveiled. It's called Time Unveiled. I love them, and for anyone who said I was on Rich's channel, Brother Rich's channel. Time Unveiled. I think they're called Time Unveiled, right? They are amazing. What an amazing channel. You got to watch them. They have this series where it talks about how we go through the succession of how we go through a society being birthed with Cabbage Patch children, incubated children seated with them in an old world that's already established, them being initiated and brought up. It talks about how the environment that they initiate to go through its own evolution, and then it gets to the point where it starts to get to the point where reset is Mind Unveiled. Thank you. Mind Unveiled. Thank you. Thank you, Delmache. Mind Unveiled had a series. I know somebody on Brother Rich was like, she's quoting things from Mind Unveiled. I would, because they're the only ones who talk about things like this. So pick up some Mind Unveiled. They are thebomb.com. You got to check out their channel. So if I reference things from Mind Unveiled, it would make sense, because once you watch certain things, but they had a series where it talked about the evolutionary progress of the planet, from being initiated with mud-flood children, incubated children, Cabbage Patch children, and it going through the succession of like initiating different societies, bringing in certain technology, influencing it, and then letting it get to a head where you get judged. You either ascend or you go through reset and then pole shift. Everyone gets destroyed. The psychopaths go underground because some of them have gotten knowledge, so they kind of preempt it, and they go back underground, reproducing mud-flood children, incubated children, to wait until the time when the surface is clear again, where they can initiate and claim, the ancient pyramids and say it's theirs and make the children grow up thinking that they're from the ancestors of those who created those things. You understand? Okay. So if you want to get a chance to watch Mind Unveiled, you definitely should go check them out. Like they're thebomb.com. Your whole mind, your consciousness will raise from watching their channel. Okay. So we're talking about a fact of these things being initiated and like you coming to the point where you're about to where some people are graduating. Now, you know, my concept is that a lot of people, we're in a holodeck. A lot of people in this realm aren't real. A lot of people are holographic, and, you know, almost like Sims. And other people are soul-based. Now, whether you were sentenced here, you satisfy your sentence, or you're here for training, it doesn't matter. There's a part where you are weighed, especially at reset time. That's like a graduating class time. It's like every maybe 250 years is a graduating class. Okay, this is a graduation thing. Anubis weighs your heart against the feather. That's a concept of Ma'at, right? And you basically, your deeds, your consciousness is weighed to see if you are you have the criteria for exiting and being released from the cryo state, which I told you, I think we're in a cryo state, living in this holographic world that we perceive as real. This isn't real. And what is perceived to be the real Earth, which is Niburu, which you say is the Annunaki, it is a planetoid. It is literally a ship. And once it comes in close proximity, that's when you're beamed up, like teleported out of this realm, if you are qualified. Now, what is interesting is the psychopaths, the crazy people, your Willy Wonka and his League of Doom, they have made it very difficult for you to be qualified. They like to disqualify you. That's why when you join their orders, they automatically make you do something to disqualify yourself for exodus. So they'll make you kill a child. They'll make you have sex with a child or an animal, or engage in necrophilia, or engage in pedophilia, or to change sexes. So that disqualifies you from exodus. So if people have changed and switched themselves from organic to from non-organic, they have already disqualified. They're really smart at doing that, and they'll make you do it on your own accord, because they supposedly you aren't allowed to really mess with someone's free will, but you can influence them enough to make that choice on their own behalf. Okay, so a lot of people have been disqualified from being able to gain access to being even having the opportunity for Anubis to weigh and see if you qualify to have exodus. Now, the interesting part is many people have been doing work. That's why a lot of you have had feeling like, oh my God, I have to do this cleanse. I feel like I have to do this, I feel like I have to, work with my shadows. Like, you've all felt it. Like, it's been like almost like pressed. Everything is because it's like finals, like quizzes, finals. You got to take that last class. Oh my God, I got to take this class before I'm about to graduate. You're all getting your final credentials to be able to qualify to perhaps have access to exodus, this realm of reincarnation. Okay, clearances. Who said that? Clearances? Yes, you're getting your clearances. Okay, so but what the Willy Wonka have learned to do is, if they don't get you disqualifying yourself, trying to disqualify you, what they do is they hide your access teleportation sites, and they hide the dates, and they make sure that you aren't able to know directionally where you should be. Now, when we read the book, I want to thank ETA. ETA ran our book club. This was for a book club. We read this like 4 years ago. I had Zoom for so long. 4 years ago or 3 years ago, we did a book club with Area 51, with alien interview with Area 51, Errol and Matilda. If anybody hears me, you got to get it. You should read it yourself. You'll understand what I'm speaking of, right? So whoever's saying eat shrooms, please don't say that to anyone in here. I told you the mushrooms have something to do with the fungi and the radiation, and it'll cause all kinds of, it's my opinion. Don't tell anyone to do that, because that's a cheat sheet. And also, if you do drugs to try to initiate yourself, like Brother Panic, this is one thing I love that Brother Panic said. He said all these people do psychedelic drugs thinking that it's fast tracking them into an initiation of higher order, but it isn't, because if you aren't doing it naturally and organically, it doesn't count. Now, your body is technology if it's organic. Now, if you're artificial intelligence, you got a lot of things going on artificially. Maybe that's what's required of you. I don't want to speak on them, but I'm talking about the organic beings. If you're an organic being, your body is technology. As long as you keep it healthy, up to standard, give it what it's necessary to keep it, keep up with your technology, it will always work on your behalf and initiating you into higher spiritual mindsets and order. Okay, there isn't anything you have to take. There isn't anything that you have to do. It's if you're up leveling yourself, working with yourself, loving yourself, working in a realm of being able to hear your higher mind outside of the firmament, you are good. Okay, so but don't listen to people telling you that you have to do psychedelics and so on, because you could hurt yourself and you could hurt your opportunity to be able to have access to leaving here. Okay, because that may disqualify you. I don't know that it does. I don't know that it would, because it's like, I don't think that would, but just work, do the work. If that's something you're engaged with, know that that isn't your way out. You are your way out. Okay, so I don't say you shouldn't or should, but don't listen to people telling you, especially at this time, to get high and do psychedelics, because those people might be trying to disqualify you. They might be Agent Smiths working on the court of the Dark Kabbalists to make sure they disqualify you at the end. If you ever watch the like Squid Games and things like that, look at people who try to disqualify other people. Okay, you are your best form of initiation into your access to Exodus. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the Annunaki, and the message that I got from the Niburians is that you are going to have a feeling inside of you. It's going to be so, like, so strong, so drawing, that it's going to make you want to do and be somewhere in alignment with your Exodus points, your vortex points. It's one of the places that I realize also people who have the DNA, who have access points out of here, they make sure that they attack those bloodlines at this time. If you notice, Cambodia and Thailand having a fight right now over the temples, big up to An, they're having a fight over the temples. Those temples in Cambodia are ancient and most likely have vortex points that can be accessed by the bloodline there. That's why Cambodia was under war. They were assassinating and genociding the people over there. Whenever you see mass genocide of a people, it's because they have access to a portal point and they don't want them having access. So they get rid of the bloodline in that arena. So there's less ability for those people to access that Exodus, that portal. Okay, so now when you see Thailand fighting Cambodia, and if you know anything about the Cambodians and their connection to the Nega serpent, which is the Annunaki, the Niburuans, right? You'll realize that's why they've been attacked and genocided. Any environment where you see a massive group of people are being genocided and grow, and you can witness it, not people telling you they were genocided, because you can't vet it. Be careful with that. There's a rogue group of people who are telling you they've been genocided, and that's smoke and mirrors to make you, they want to make you perceive them as that. Like the Haitians who actually are the reason why all of us can even speak on social media as people of color. They initiated a lot of freedom for melanated people in the Americas. Okay, they actually had a whole empire. That's why when you go in Haiti, they have that beautiful Tatarian building that was there way before Europeans came to the area. Okay, they were the one group of Tainos, the strongest. They're the same people. If you see the brown people in Cuba, in Puerto Rico, in the Virgin Islands, and Bahamas, those are all from the same bloodline of the Tainos. They coexisted there. They tell people they're from Africa, but that's to confuse others and to make people not feel vetted to the land so that they won't get their access points at Exodus time. Okay, these are the groups of people that have been attacked. So you have the Haitians, constantly talked about, murdered, genocided, and marginalized, and they wanted to make sure they got rid of Haitians off the island because they have an access point, bloodline. I'm not going to say where, but it's in Haiti. That's why they don't want people. And people saying Haiti is a hellhole. Haiti has, if you go to the airport in a specific, it's a whole bunch of lunars, wealthy people living in Haiti, y'all. Don't believe the hype. They want the Haitians of the bloodline to be able to use their Exodus point, not to be there. So what they do is kill them off or lower their frequency, make them disqualify themselves, or make them leave. Okay, and then they occupy the space where they can't go to so that they can't get their Exodus point. Okay, same thing in Cambodia. Cambodia has the temples, these ancient temples. If you get a chance to come off of here and look at the temples in Cambodia, y'all, it is off the mother freaking chain. Was showing me pictures yesterday. I was like, that is so extraterrestrial. It is so beautiful. So all of a sudden now, as we're getting close to these pinnacle points of being able to access our exodus points, our ascension points, they're fighting over the temples that probably have the vortexes that certain bloodlines could get access to. And remember, they were genociding the Cambodians, making them leave their spaces where they can access it genetically, because you have to be in a space genetically where your ancestors were. And in the book, you'll realize Matilda, was it Matilda? Yeah, Matilda was of the blood lineage of the Irish. And when she did her exodus, she knew she would be stuck in this dome. So she had to go to a mound where she had the DNA to match her exodus teleportation site. She was able to leave, according to this second book that was brought out with Matilda and with the alien interview book. Okay, you have to be where your ancestors sat organically. Why do you think the people in Gaza are being blown up? Those are the genetic ancestors of the people. Probably there's vortexes all in the Middle East. You know that. And these are the ones who've lived there generationally. So they have the access genes to access those portal points. Why do you think they're being blown oblivion? They don't want that blood type to have that blood lineage to have access to those portals. That's their exodus site. So they're making it, destabilizing it, making it so they can't access it. Okay, same thing in Congo. They're moving the people in the Congo, the Congolese. They are also, wherever you're seeing a mass amount of genocide, it is being initiated by the Dark Order to make sure that those people during Exodus time and Ascension time don't have access to their own portals. Okay, so look at where you come from and what your people come from. Okay, so, and that's why they tell African Americans that they're from Africa, because they want you to go over there so you don't have access to your portal points all in Americas, which we know now as ancient Kemet. Okay, they want you to leave. They're telling some, you know what I mean? They want some to leave and some to stay. It's probably the ones who are from South America or over abroad that they want to stay, and the ones who are from America, they want you to leave because they don't want you to access. Because most brown Americans are from the Americas. Now, this is fact. This is not fiction. I know somebody tried to challenge me, and so I made sure I gave them some. I don't even have to prove, because I'm from the Americas organically. My ancestors didn't come across the sea to be here. They were already here. Okay, so and we already know we're Carib. Okay, so but the problem is that you have people writing your historical accounts and you forget who you are generationally because they've traumatized you and they tell you something that you're not. Okay, so it's important. That's why a lot of people are feeling the urge to go back to their blood lineage, their lineage portal points. They're being driven there. And I use Ireland as an example because the young lady in the book, Matilda, went to the mound in Ireland. That's how she was able to access her teleportation site. And I think that's amazing. So if you look at the places that are most, like Yemen is another exodus site for those of the bloodline. They're bombing Yemen. Syria, another place with portal sites for people, native people from those areas. They're bombing those sites. Ukraine has a return of the actual Ukrainians, but some of those are the dark Kabbalists, and they're just going to access their sites. So just be careful. If you come from places, obviously, and this is where I think real beings come from, I actually think wherever you come from that is being destabilized, start to realize that is purposefully being done, and you need to maybe go inward to find out if that's your access point, your teleportation point, and see if that's something that you'll be able to go to at particular points, or at least close to. Because I don't believe you have to be one specific place, but you have to be in a energetic, like it's almost like a dome, like an energetic, like an opening, like a stargate. It's wide, so it's not just small place, it's like a wide space, but you also have to be qualified. Okay, so I would definitely so the message is that you have to become aware of time, and what is it, like you have to become aware of your time. Why? Is because if you listen to the Carrie Cassidy video of the guy saying when this they're calling it an asteroid, it's not an asteroid. They're calling it Atlas. It's not an asteroid. It's literally a planetoid, Nibiru, Planet X, whatever you call it, but it's a planetoid, and it literally comes in close proximity, ready for exodus, for teleportation. And it's not teleportation in the way you think. I personally think we're living in a cryo state, sleeping, projecting ourselves into this realm, and it's not above. I actually think it's below. Okay, and on December the 20th, 2025 is when this so-called planetoid will be in its closest proximity to our holographic dome. And that means this is probably going to be a mass exodus. And who's to say, like, a lot of these people who are leaving, they may become aware, like their soul is aware that it's time to exit. Okay. The video that you watch with the gentleman, I forgot his name. He did the work. I love that he did this work on Carrie Cassidy's show. He talks about the closest points where this Nibiru is in close proximity, and when it begins and when it ends, when it leaves. So I would urge each person to watch the video. And Annunaki says we have to be aware of time, and I don't know, it's kind of generic, like space. Like, we have to be aware of it. Because if you're too grounded and too bound to materialism here, it will be hard for you to what you perceive to be ascend. You would be grasping onto earth, but this is a hologram. That's why many of you feel like this isn't your home. You ever go somewhere and you're like, oh, I want this to be home. And the whole concept, and they speak about this, about the Israelites, or this is something I do resonate with. I think the concept of Israelites is real light. Remember the word is real light. I do think it's true. The concept that you will be wandering, you aren't to find a home. You'll be wandering for a place, but it's not your home. So you aren't to settle. It's the same thing that they told the Jews. The Orthodoxy Jews also believe that there's no place specifically for Jews because they're supposed to wander the earth until almost like, when there's like a being that comes and picks them up. I don't think it's like that. I think it's literally that you wander because this isn't your home. You weren't ever meant to be comfortable here. You weren't ever meant to settle here because this is a hologram. If you settle here and you feel like this is your home, it'll make you tethered to this realm and this hologram. That's my personal concept. So I think the whole concept of the 12 tribes, I actually think it's the 13 tribes of Sheba. People correct me all the time. I think they hide the 13th tribe. I think they do. Yafi actually gave the names of the 13. She actually gave the names of the 12 tribes. So I don't know if you guys were here last time. Yafi gave the names. I could probably give it again, but it's good. And also Oracle gave the tribes connected to the Caribbean, those in the Americas. So those of you who are wanting to see this, I think I could give it Oracle, if that's okay. I'm going to share it on my community if you guys want to see it. It's for those in the Americas who connect to, so you'll know the lineage, the blood lineage of those who are connected to specific tribes. Okay? It's really fascinating. I love it. I actually connect to that. I actually feel like I'm at Israel light. I actually think it means that I'm real. I actually take it differently. Is real light means that you have a real soul. It is, you are real. Like, not like Pinocchio, but you are real. So I actually think the term in itself actually has to do with the existing beings that are real beings in this holographic system. So I think when they say that, it means is real light. That's just what I perceive. You guys can vet that out. This is my perception. I actually think that there are those of us who came into this holographic field, and we knew that we have a certain time frame to get it together, learn. Maybe we were sentenced. I can't speak on everyone's behalf. And some of us, like I said, I came in here to get my team to exodus out. I would be perceived, they call me like a Moses being. The Athugians kind of perceive me as a Moses entity that helps to exit. Like, I'm like the camp leader. Let's say, the camp counselor. Big up to all the camp counselors in here for the summer. I'm like the camp counselor, and I got to get my little ones. It's like, okay, we went camping. Everyone follow lead. Like, we got to go back to, we got to go back to the bus, right? I'm the camp leader. Okay, so I'm leading my little ones back to the bus. I know that I know and accept that that's my role. Okay. So I'm here to find my little ones who come from my realm, who come from my holographic, outside of my holographic realm, and they're to follow me to a starting point where we got in here. Okay. So they get connected to me throughout this time. And when it's time for our exodus, I should be able to access our portal point, our teleportation point, where we'll be allowed to access it. Hopefully we all qualify, and then we wake up outside the firmament. Death is not the end in here. It's literally an encapsulation back into reincarnation, and you go through the cycle again. Right now is a graduating time where the reset happens. So you have which I think we're sleeping in, and I don't think it's above, I think it's below the waters. That's why the Red Sea parts with Moses, right? The concept of the Red Sea parting, I think it's beautiful. It parts because in it itself, it means that we go back into the water. That's where I personally think that the ship Nibiru is not above, it's actually below. And I think they tell us that to confuse us of east, west, north, and south. That's the confusion. Okay. So where is this all going? Nibiru said we have to, Niburians, well, the Annunaki, right? They're Niburians to me, but I say it to you so you understand who I'm talking about. We have to activate, that's what they said. We have to activate our internal compass. Activate your internal compass, because that will lead you. You will be led to where you have your exodus points. Okay. Now I want everyone to, watch a video. I think that video is probably one of the most important videos. And then also go to Allison Coe's channel. And I love the video where she did it validates everything. It was when I was up in the quantum realm, which I've been sitting every time I go into sleep state. I was in the quantum realm, and it was a whisper telling me to watch Allison Coe, go to Allison Coe, and I'll get the validation I need. And I didn't think about it. I watched the other video, and then I had contact. I was like, why would I go to Allison Coe? I haven't heard her do anything in years. And I went, I was like, she's talking about the pods and ascension and exodus in one of her QHAT readings, and she shares it. You gotta watch. I shared the video on Patreon, I think. Yeah. And I would, you don't have to go to my Patreon. You can just go and look it up yourself. I would go and watch it. Sit and do your duty. I know a lot of you have 2-second time consciousness, like you don't want to sit and listen because you feel like it takes so much time. I would sit and listen to this quantum reading and listen to it in totality. It is fascinating. That's what I'm saying. In the quantum realm, they're like, I don't know if it's they or me or outside of here, like everything's being shared. Like I have so much access. Is this like Moses going to the burning bush and like God giving him the 10 commandments, which we know it was more than that. Anyway, it's so biblical, and I'm so not Bible. I'm so not into that, but I can see the references and remember they put names on things. They kind of staple Christianity, Judaism, or Islam on certain things, but it's really just a cellular memory, kind of like it attaches it to whatever we're connected to at the time, right? So it's so beautiful. So I would really tell everyone to get a chance to do that. And also, because we are in this time frame where the dark Kabbalists are all literally getting ready for the zombie apocalypse, they have already initiated it. I told you it may show up at encephalitis, meningitis, measles. It's brain swelling. Okay, that's how it shows up. They may say it's a form of like what do you bite people? Rabies, right? Whatever shows up in, but you need to pay attention. It's already been released. This is my opinion from what I saw. That Jordan video I have on my Patreon. You can say it's a short video, but it's a real video of a hospital, and it's not being released all over. That's how I know it's mostly valid. Okay, so if your blood lineage, I would really, your inner compass, like the Niburians said for you to access your inner compass, you have to be clean for that. And disallow others from influencing your mind, even me. Like if this doesn't resonate with you, don't listen to it. Go into your inner conscious, like access it. And it's hard to access it if everything around you is dirty. The music is dirty because that's a form of ingesting dark frequencies. The people around you, you're sleeping with somebody who's got cucarachis all or monkey balls all in their soul, or the worms of mass destruction in their butt that are basically hijacking the spine and accessing their brain. Okay, so you got to really clean. In order for you to get that clarity internally, not from somewhere else, you got to clean yourself out. Okay. The worms in people, that's a form of zombieism because it's something else is controlling their mind. And a lot of people who got that Kukarachi kill shot, they got the Hydra up in them. Remember the thing? It looked like a little squiddly and it was looking up at the microscope when someone saw what was in them shots. They got that in them. So that could be driving them as well. You know what I mean? If this message revolts you, you might want to get rid of the Hydra that's inside of you if you got the kill shot. Okay? And I personally think, big up to... what's her name? Are they done with the coffee? I don't need more coffee. If they're cleaning up, I don't need more coffee. I almost feel like sometimes, you want more, but less is more. See, that's enough. What's the name of, I was just going to tell you something. What was I just telling you? Dr. Rima. Lunga Rima? Dr. Rima, many of you know she was on the Jesse Ventura show with Alex Jones and talking about they were going to bring a pandemic and they were going to do a nasal spray. That is how they're going to bring it on. So I would just be careful. Oh, you're in France. Hey, bonjour, bonjour, salut. I just would pay attention to seeing any of those things showing up. If you're seeing people getting bleeding in the nose, eyes, ears, head swelling, brain swelling, anything you're hearing like that, anything with the animals, because it may show up in the animals first, which that deer, which a guy who announced the pandemic in his area in Tennessee, you need to pay attention to stuff like that. And I actually think they're going to bring the remedy, just like they brought the Kukarachi kill shot. They're going to tell you there's something, but in order to make it fully go rogue, they're going to have to place that nasal spray. I actually think Dr. Rima preempted that, and that's probably what they're going to present as a nasal spray to be their way. Oh, you don't have to get a shot. Don't worry. I know last time the vaccines, we didn't want to make you get it like that. God, we don't want to do that to you. We want to, we'll just do a nasal spray. It's so it's not going to bother you. It's really non-intrusive. Pay attention, y'all. Okay, language is everything. I gave you the heads up with cucarachis, and I was one of the only ones, and you saw how YouTube treated me dirty. YouTube treated me like a dirty dog, a dirty stepchild on a bad day. Okay, because when I told you it was out in December before 2020, and I gave you that video and I showed you the mask because they kept taking my videos off, go look. I put the mask on to show you what was going on because they kept deleting my videos while I was on live. That was wild. And I didn't really know what was coming like that. I just knew what was showing up because I got word on a curb in another country that there was something showing up and they were going to lock down. So when I try to make the videos on YouTube, some of you are around, and it pissed. So I just decided on my community to take a picture with the mask on. That's the first time, and people were like, oh, you're fear baiting. Oh, you're making... And that was in 2019, about December or January. Go back to the videos. While all you so-called psychics and love and lighters were telling people, you don't want to hurt your grandparents. You don't, they were telling you it was real. They weren't telling you. That's why I wouldn't trust any psychic, y'all. And they should have an archive online if they weren't giving you the warning. Because they should have known. If they were so psychic, they would have already got and I wasn't psychic. And I gave you the warning. Right? Yeah, they were supposedly psychic and love and lighters, and they were supposed to give you tell you not to engage with that, but they were the ones telling you to go to engage with the Willy Wonka shots, and they were telling you, they didn't give a warning about everything. They were sitting there quiet or complicit or apathetic, or they were telling you to engage. I wouldn't let any of those people guide you. You should go back into the archive. If they went around near then and they saying, no, y'all. And I'm not talking about the people after the fact who told you, oh, don't engage, like 2 and 3 years later when it was already a thing. I'm talking about if they're saying they're psychic and they were highly intuitive, how come they didn't give you the preamp? How come they didn't give you the warning? Okay? I remember going in Brazil, you got all these kumbale practitioners with the orishas. Oh my God. They doing prayers, sacrificing offerings to the orishas. All of them engaged in a Kukarachi kill shot. You tell me not one of your orishas gave you a warning? You telling me not one of your spiritual entities, deity, Oshun, Yamaya, nobody gave you warning that the Kukarachis and the shots were going to hurt you? Not one of them? Proof is in the pudding, y'all. Do you understand? Proof is in the pudding. You could talk about it, but you certainly should be about it. Okay? So be careful of word wizards. I see them online. Word wizards. They just read a lot of books. They banter. They regurgitate everybody else's said. They follow everything. If they don't look the look, if they don't talk the talk, and they don't walk the walk, be mindful. That's a form of trying to disqualify you. You have to be able to hear things and vet things out for yourself. No one else should be able to tell you anything. Okay? Because when you have clarity within, the devil could come to you giving you a world worth of money and you wouldn't take it, no matter how much you were perceived to be in need of it. Okay? We aren't leaving with anything, y'all. This is a self-initiated project to be in here holographically. Niburu, the technology, the ship, is coming in close proximity around, isn't it crazy it's coming around winter solstice? The so-called Lion's Gate will initiate, remember, they're going to bring everything out around this time to confuse you, to put you in fear, to limit you and disallow you from your exodus. All my Haitian family, stop wanting to leave where your ancestors created a space for you to access your exodus. There's a reason why Biden gave you an open door to leave the Haiti and come into the United States. He wants as much of your people to come to a place where they'll be stuck than he wants them to stay where they are and see the access points so they can exodus out of this place. Okay? And if you're living anywhere like places that you're being constantly bombarded, it's because you have access points. Like, I definitely think Gaza has it. That whole landmass, Palestine, they had portals. Remember, in Israel, God knows, Tel Aviv had a portal in that area. On the other side had a portal, probably in the borders of Jordan. Over in Syria, I definitely know Syria had a portal. They're all bombing those areas because they don't want you to have access to. It's hard for you to feel connected to anything if they're just destroying it and making you feel fearful, so you don't even your internal guidance is thrown off. Okay? And, for those who are dark Kabbalists and so on, you created this world. This is your realm. You can have it. There isn't any real estate that I need on in here. You could keep it. Every inch of your real estate in this dark realm, in this holographic realm, if you want to stay in this fake all to yourself, if you ever feared that I have any stake in this landmass, in this area, in this holographic field, you are very mistaken. You could keep this ghetto, hostile, war-ridden, bloodletting, satanic realm all to yourself. Okay? There isn't any claim I have here. All right? Where I come from, people are beautiful, integrity-ridden, connected to their ancestors and connected to nature and are symbiotic with all of the above. I know this is in my realm because of how it's engaging with the people around it. This kind of hostility is unnatural. It's unnatural and it's unmatched. It's a dark realm. And big up to Anubis. Listen, I actually think there's a werewolf. I know it's crazy. This is a whole nother, I don't make a video. Maybe I'll make a video on there one night. There's a whole werewolf. I think there's a werewolf where I am. A werewolf. I remember a little one said werewolf. Remember? My little one said werewolf. So cute. Werewolf. I actually think there's a werewolf where I'm staying. I'm in the woods. I think he just watches. I know he doesn't mean harm, but he watches. Like, I think I saw his yellow eyes out there. I don't want to scare you, but I saw it the other day. I think that was him. I think he watches. And then we'll go into the dog star. You probably should look into that constellation as well, what that's connected to. Anyway, y'all, I hope this was helpful. Like, again, Annunaki, you're just saying, careful of like time and space. Pay attention to time and space. It's not as it's not as verifiable as you think. It's an internal compass that you have to reactivate or activate, and being able to be initiated to where you would be to find your exodus, your ascension point. Okay. I wish I had another message from them. That's all they actually said to me. I just had I was really excited about, because I had the validation through Carrie Cassidy's video, and then, going into the quantum realm and them telling me to go look into Alice Coe, what she's doing, and then that quantum reading, that QHH. I was like, oh wow, like that's the validation. Sometimes you get validation from all these. Like I got the message, but the validation and the synchronicities were off the chain. Okay, the zombie apocalypse is upon us, y'all. Okay, they already initiated it. For the young lady who made a video saying, oh, she doesn't tap into my fear, and the things I'm sharing are fearful, she reject. Okay, reject, but why come to my channel? Like, if this message frightens you enough to where you have to make a whole conviction, a manifestation of rejection of what I share, don't come here. Obviously, my message is not for you, and you're fear baited. You're very easily influenced or affected by the things I share in a negative way. That means I'm not good for you. I'm not good for you at all. It's like, what is good? Like, somebody can enjoy I don't know, juicing with beets, right? And it's good for them. The beets but it makes you nauseous or gives you acidity. I'm not good for everybody. I'm not meant for you. Okay, so please refrain from sending me videos that you're sharing about you rebuking what I say. Just don't share it at all. Don't look at me. Don't listen to what I say. Don't come to, if you're that easily affected negatively, if I'm affecting you negatively to the point where you feel like you have to do that, then don't come here. I'm not for you. Go to some of these love and lighters. They'll give you all the good stuff. Okay, I'm very balanced in that way. I can give you dark and light in one sitting on one plate. Okay. I'm not for the weak or the meek. If you've been with me for a while, y'all, you bowdy. You about that life. You got some warrioress, and you got a little bit of that spunky spirit. You know what I mean? I haven't affected you in a way where you feel like you're limited or you're expressing your fearful side of you. Okay, y'all. So it looks like I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna get any more coffee. I feel good. I'm not getting more coffee. I felt, you like the purple pill? Thank you, Sven. I try to give it so that it goes down smoothly. So let me know what you guys think of the video that Carrie made with the gentleman. I hate not knowing his name. I'm just not a name person. The gentleman he was with, and be careful about the people who are trying to disqualify you. If you've gained, it's like you took your finals, you took everything, you did everything, you're working on yourself, you're still working on it, and somebody comes and tries to trip you up at the end. We need to be mindful of that, all of us. I'm talking from the choir. You know what I mean? We got to be mindful of that. People trying to disqualify you because they're not qualified. It's like bigger haters. Oh, thank you, Justine. Oh, let's see, Justina. Oh, thank you, Justina. Mwah. Thank you. I appreciate it. I like that I could give you a heart now. Thank you. I appreciate the donation. Yeah, just, why should you let somebody disqualify you? Who are they to do that? You know what I mean? They didn't do the work. They're mad at you. They're going to be here for another cycle, going through the incarnation in a Bioborg body, a Synthetica, part human, part, like Autobot. They're mad going to be Autobot the next round. Who wants to be in a machine? You know what I mean? That's going to be a whole nother, I rebuke that. I'm going to bring my people out. I will. And I know Willy Wonka's trying to see where I'm going. I will rebuke you, and I will be close. Okay? Because you didn't do the work. You're going to try to piggyback and find out where we going. See, and be careful who you let share into your blood, y'all. Because I also think the reason why they may be kidnapping also certain type of people is so they can inject their blood and try to qualify themselves DNA wise. They may be trying to copy to piggyback on their DNA to see if they can access those points. That's why the Haitians, you got to be careful. Like, if you are going to the doctor, don't let them harvest organs. Make sure you put on writing, let your family, your auntie, tante, your mother, your father, right? That you aren't to harvest your organs. Because I actually think how they're trying to piggyback, because they're trying to get out of here too, y'all. Even though they create chaos, this is still a balanced world, like those and Superman 2, those people in the mirror. They want to get out. They want to cause chaos wherever they go. Make sure you aren't letting them get your organs. Put it on paper that they aren't allowed, because I actually think that's what they're attempting to do. Because they're taking all these organs and harvesting from all these places that they're killing people. They were doing it to the Palestinians that collect their skin. They're doing it to the Yemenis and the Ethiopians. They did it over in the Congo, crazy in the Congo. They're doing it in Haiti. They did it to a lot of the native indigenous groups in the Americas. I actually think they're harvesting the blood, and they did it to some new native children were missing from, I forgot what, can our native groups, any of our native groups, the Americas, there's a group of children that were just kidnapped from one of the reservations. I forgot where it was. I think I just heard this last week. I want to verify it. But if they're kidnapping them because they want to access those vortex portals, I think they're going to try to piggyback back off the blood, the DNA. I think they're trying to put the DNA in them, and that's why I say, Candace Owens, be very careful. They're going to access your children. They want to have access to her bloodline, and they made sure she had a child for every family member that's going to utilize that child for harvesting. That's just my opinion from the quantum field. It's so be careful, y'all, because that's how I think they're going to try to access. So all these dead bodies or people that they're disappearing in certain areas, I think that's what they're trying to do, is piggyback. I didn't know before. I was like, they're harvesting a lot of organs. No, they're trying to put the DNA with them. So at Exodus time, they know where the exit points are for these people. That's why the war in Cambodia is happening right now. They know where the exodus point. Cambodia is trying to protect its temples, or maybe in Thailand, but they know. So they want to. Oh, yeah, the coffee's gone. They took the sign in. They're going to try to access those points. So just be mindful. Your DNA matters. Women, you go in the hospital, don't let them have your afterbirth. Go make sure you can't take it after the fact. If you giving birth to a child, you need to fill out the paperwork and fill it out twice and get it notarized. And have each family member, anybody, and give it to your doctor, nurse, everybody, so they aren't able to take your afterbirth. That's another way that they're able to access your DNA, and that's got a lot of DNA in there. If they have a tooth taken out, make sure you sign a waiver saying you could bring your tooth. All your DNA should be kept with you right now. Okay, that's how they access the portals. They want where you go, where you come from. They want to access your portal, because they can't do it. But if they have enough of your DNA and they're qualifying themselves, I don't know how they're going to do the qualifications, but they're going to try to hijack it. So be mindful of that, okay? So, y'all, I hope this was helpful. I'm going to go. My coffee place is closed, so I'm safe. You kept me somewhat sober in my coffee. Now my coffee's mostly water, okay? It's not as good when it's watery, but it's okay. I know AJ's like, hey, where you going, sir? Let me go into I'm gonna go talk to the werewolf tonight. You think I should talk to the werewolf? I know you think I'm crazy. I don't know if I could be really considered sane here. Oh, thank you, my lovey. Thank you. I can't really, when I read it, I've been a while and so much FleurBrun. I can read it after the fact to you. Listening to your videos, you're so right about the information and true follower. Oh, thank you, Lisa. Lisa, I love your name, Elisa Davis. Thank you, my love, for the donation. Thank you. I appreciate it. I like your name. So pretty. It has a beautiful vibration. Thank you, my love. Yeah, we got to keep it real. And, listen, be careful of the handlers, y'all. They're going to bring the best looking handlers out. Listen, they probably going to disperse the Smithitarians, and especially a lot of sea stars are not engaged in any physical activity, y'all. And I'm speaking to the choir right now. Don't let them trip you up at the end. They going to set out the super soldiers of mass destruction, y'all. They're going to try to get you with the wands. Don't let them do it. I know it's hard. Oh, I shouldn't say that. But you know what I mean, right? Don't let them do it. They're going to look good. They're super, so they probably got the sidebars already smelling good. They know you've been locked down and you're cleansed. Oh boy, they're going to come all beautiful, perfect. specimens of mass destruction. Yeah. We all gonna hold each other's hands through this, because I know they're gonna send them out. It's the perfect distraction. They send them out at the end to disqualify you. Oh, it's like the Squid Games. Oh, stop. Rebuke the wands of mass destruction, y'all. They probably got the super worms in them. Good, good, good goddess. Woo, boy, they're gonna be all big and beautiful. Smell like the earth. Have skin like caramel, cooked caramel. Wearing those, like wearing those Timberlands, you know what I'm saying, from back in the days, and the white beaters. And it's hot too, so they're gonna have a little glaze on them. His jawline, his nose, everything's gonna be symbiotic. You gonna say that little bit? I rebuke it. I rebuke the wands of mass destruction, y'all. I rebuke it. Oh my gosh. Be careful, sea stars. It's always at the end. It's like when you think you're at finish line, you run in, you're like, yeah, I feel good. And then he tries to trip you up and he looks good and he picks you up. It's like, hey, babe, you don't have to run this. And, I could take care of you. I could lift you off this, this lane. What? Listen, I already know what time it is. I'm just giving you the warning because I see them coming out. They're dispersing the super soldiers, and a lot of our sea stars, they've been clean, celibate for years. They're going to try to wreck you up. The sun stars have been engaging. I'm talking to the sea stars because there's been a drought for a while, and the drought is about to be, the dam is about to be opened. What? Anyway, let me stop. I had too much coffee. I love you all. Thank you. Grateful. Haters, you just motivate me to make more videos. Thank you, haters. You know what I'm saying? I come on here. I need to go and behave myself. Enjoy. It's already I'm in East Coast time, y'all. I enjoy my day. I'm gonna go and enjoy my day and behave myself, and I will rebuke all you super soldiers of mass destruction. Doesn't matter how many beautiful Timberlands you wear and white beaters and how strong your features and what your smell is. I won't be led astray. Okay, I'm gonna wait until I get a Niburu from my man. Let me get out of here. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, so thank you for everyone. Please put a handy dandy like in a video if you like the video. I don't know if they'll let it stay up. We'll see. I talked about a lot of things. Willy Wonka might make. If you put a like, I don't know. I don't even know if the likes help. I just like when you put a like because it makes me feel like you like the topic. Maybe. Until I talk about something crazy. You know what I'm saying? Put a like on the video if you appreciate the topic and the discussion. And, I'll try to come in again. I have a day. When I drink another cup of coffee, I'd like to come talk to you fine folk online. All right, y'all. Mwah. Keep your vibrations high. Say no to wands of mass destruction, and keep from eating your own people. We might end up leaving this mother freaker. Peace out.